Ben, what do you need here?
How's everything else?
Oh, it's just the
live
button.
Mute.
Thank you.
Now you're live.
Okay, well, I call this meeting to order. This meeting of the Hopkinton Select Board is being held both in person and remotely using the video conference platform Zoom pursuant to Section 20 of Chapter 20 of the Acts of 2021. Select Board member Muriel Kramer will be participating remotely, and all other members of the Select Board are present for this meeting at Town Hall, room 215-216. At this time, I will ensure that the Select Board members participating remotely can hear and can be heard. Muriel Kramer?
Yes, present. Thank you.
Thank you. The public has the option of attending in person here at Town Hall or via Zoom using the link posted in the meeting's agenda. This meeting is being recorded. All votes will be taken by a roll call vote. I request a motion to enter into executive session. 1, pursuant to Massachusetts General Law, Chapter 30A, Section 21A, Purpose 3, to consider strategy with respect to collective bargaining relative to the DPW, police, fire, and library units, and negotiations with non-union staff, fire chief, because an open meeting may have a detrimental effect on the negotiating position of the board.
So moved.
Pursuant to, number 2, pursuant to Massachusetts General Law, Chapter 38, Section 21A, Purpose 6, to consider the purchase, exchange, lease, or value of real estate located at 0 Franklin Road, Assessors Map U7, Block 7, Lot 0, because an open meeting may have a detrimental effect on the negotiating position of the board. Number 3, to approve the executive session minutes of August 3rd, 2021. Number 4, to discuss strategy with respect to the purchase, lease, sale, or value of real property in relation to open space preservation, trails coordination and management, and Upper Charles Trail. Assessors Map parcels R8-1-0, R7-5-0, R7-8-0, R16-21-0, R16-22-0. Do I need to do all these? R28-59-0, R28-61-0, U25-16-A, R10-15-0, and R34-17-C, Tennessee gas easements, Granite Street easement, East Main Street Mezit property, because an open meeting may have a detrimental effect on the negotiating position of the board. Number 5, to allow Norman Kamalu and Elaine Lazarus to participate in the executive session. And number 6, to reconvene in open session at the conclusion of the executive session.
Now, Mary Jo.
So moved.
Okay, roll call vote. Ms. Ritbush?
Amy Ritbush, yes.
Mr. Tedstone?
Tedstone, yes.
And Ms. Lafreniere?
Lafreniere, yes.
And Ms. Rulli, yes.
Kramer.
Kramer.
Muriel Kramer?
Yes.
Thank you. See, being present,
Go.
We call the meeting to order. Before we begin, let us stand for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Okay, we shall start with public forum. Please note that each person will have up to 2 minutes to speak at public forum. And please start by stating your name and address. Recognizing that there may be people at the meeting room and participating remotely who would like to speak, we'll go to the room first. Is there anyone in the room who would like to speak at public forum? I see none. Okay, people just waving to each other. Is there anyone participating remotely via Zoom who wishes to speak at the public forum? Okay, looks like we have one person. You want to liven them up? Okay,
Tim Kilduff.
Tim Kilduff, you're live. You ready?
I'm trying.
Okay, we hear you. There we go. You got 2 minutes.
Thank you. As you all know, in a couple of weeks, Boston Marathon will conduct the 125th Boston Marathon, the oldest continuous interval marathon in the world. It's a very, very significant day in the running world, and it's a significant day for Hopkinton. So there are those of us in town that kicked around the idea of creating some sort of recognition for the BAA. We tested the idea out with Norman and Irfan and the Hopkins Chamber of Commerce, the Hopkins Center for the Arts, and the 26.2 Foundation launched planning to create Hopkinton Salutes the BAA and the 125th Boston Marathon. The event is scheduled for September 23rd. Being an unabashed promoter of Hopkinton, I will tell you that I don't expect any other city or town for which the race runs to hold recognition of any sort. Norman and Irfan had a discussion with the BAA who are aware of the offer and are excited and will participate. So it's the 23rd. We are formulating the program and would like very much to offer the Select Board an opportunity to participate and possibly also make a presentation to the BA during the evening. There will be other organizations, and I'm very proud to say that Representative Dykema and Senate President Spilka, their offices are working on a joint resolution which is not commonplace, which we hope they have prepared and presented that evening. So just wanted to give you an update. And there are other people on the program. We've extended an opportunity for the Hopkins Marathon Committee to make remarks and a presentation, and there will be some other surprises. So just wanted to give you a little heads up. This is an exciting day. We're really proud. We all are, all of us, everybody on the call is proud of the fact that Hopkins hosts the start of this historic race, and we're looking forward to the 23rd so the community can express their love and admiration for the BAA.
Thank you, Tim.
So, Mr. Kilduff, we will have an opportunity on that to make a presentation or to do something. That's more than us just sitting around and listening to what people say, right? That's something that we could kind of present a presentation for?
No, the Select Board is an integral part of this, absolutely critical to the program.
Okay.
So yes.
Okay. We'll make sure that we knock their socks off.
Excellent. Thank you, Tim.
You're welcome.
Okay, consent agenda. The board will consider approving the consent agenda consisting of, number 1, approval of the minutes of the August 3rd, 2021 meeting, approval of a parade permit for the CF Cycle for Life event to be held on October 2nd, 2021, approval of a parade permit for the Title IX Women's Only Triathlon on September 12th, 2021, accepting a $300 gift to the ambulance fund from the Whitehall Learning Group in memory of Lawrence Tedstone, Christian Webb, and George Jungling. Number 5, accept the resignation of Michelle Heaney from the Cultural Council. Board members, would you like to break any of these items out for a separate vote?
I would break out number 4.
Anyone else? Okay, then I request a motion to approve the consent agenda, items number 1, 2, 3, and 5.
So moved.
Second.
Any discussion? Hearing none. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Wait, does everything need to be roll call vote because Muriel's?
I think just Muriel's part of it.
Just me. Muriel Kramer, yes.
And their finance rule is yes. Mr. Tedstone.
So on number 4, you know, we're 3 months outside of when my father passed, and I thank the Whitehall Learning Group as well as everybody else that has donated in my father's name to the ambulance fund. It's a fund that that we as a family certainly believe and support, and it's very humbling to see the people that are coming out and donating in my father's name. So thank you guys very much.
Thank you as well. Okay, I request a motion to accept the $300 gift to the ambulance fund from the Whitehall Learning Group in memory of Lawrence Tedstone, Christian Webb, and George Jungling.
So moved.
Second.
Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
And roll call for Muriel?
Muriel Kramer, yes.
Every vote has to be roll call? Okay, that's how we go forward from here. Next item. Volunteer recognition. Select Board will recognize Kathy LaFlash, who served on the Personnel Committee for 26 years. The nomination for recognition was submitted by Bob Levinson, who noted that Kathy's guidance, counsel, and wisdom have helped the town successfully address the numerous and complicated human resource-related challenges for many, many years. He noted that both town employees and residents have benefited from her contributions. Is there anyone here who's going to speak on this?
With your permission, Mr. Chair, Kathy is here, and I noticed she's here with the DMO. Please.
Please.
Little lady, get up here. This is the one time in my life I'm able to give you an order. That you'll listen to.
You could try.
Thank you.
Thank you, and welcome. 26 years, that's an awful long time, and, you know, the service to the town is just incredible. That's, it's hard to put into words what it means to all of us. Board members?
Yeah, I've known Kathy for many years, with Cub Scouts especially, and it was an excellent volunteer, and I know I always see her at town meeting. She's always involved and knows what's going on, and I'm really going to miss you on the Personnel Committee, I'm sure, but hopefully you'll take another volunteer role maybe. Thanks.
I'm last.
Okay.
Okay, well, just as a sidelight, I was working in the assessor's office downstairs when we got the notification that Kathy LaFlash was appointed to HR. So, I mean, we were all very happy about it then, and we're still very happy about it, but we're very sad to be losing you. You have done a wonderful job, and you've been very dedicated to the town and the employees of the town, especially. And we thank you very much for your service.
So, Kath, I've known Kathy.
I'm sorry.
Go ahead.
If you want to go last.
All right, go ahead, Mary.
I'm sorry.
Go ahead.
Yeah, through you, Mr. Chair. Kathy, you come from a long line of incredible volunteers in town, and we have done your legacy certainly very proud. We're sorry to see you leave, but we so appreciate your service. It's been amazing. And I think it should also be said that Kathy invests in a lot of ways. Our paths have crossed volunteering and collecting donations for shelters and all kinds of things. And I can't thank you enough for the ways you contribute both to the town and also in the greater good of the community at large.
Thank you, Muriel.
So I've known Kath for the lion's share of my life, which is well over 20-something years. Kathy has been awesome at everything that she does. HR, she's awesome at. Being a daughter, being a mom, being a wife. There's nothing that you've done, being a gas company union rep, there's nothing that you've done that hasn't been awesome. It's my privilege to know you, knowing your mom, and you know how I feel about your mom and your dad. It's not a surprise you turned out the way that you did. It's definitely a legacy, Mayor. You should be very, very proud of not just Kath, but all the kids, your grandkids, your great-grandkids, your great-great-great-grandkids. You've molded a lot of people in this town, not just your kids, people in this town, a lot more than you know. But this is about Kathy, and Kathy, awesome job. Thank you very much for everything that you've done for years and years and years.
Thank you.
If there's anything that we can ever do for you, please don't hesitate to ask.
Sure. I just wanted to add that when I first took the position, my mom was on the Board of Selectmen. She had to abstain from voting for me.
I was going to say, was there an ethics commission form?
No, she didn't. The record reflect that she abstained from voting. So I was appointed to the board in 1996, and it was a part-time HR department at the time. And we were just developing. We had a part-time HR director and no paid employees. So I'm very proud of the department, the work that everyone has done collectively, the expertise that we have as a group, as a committee, what we've been able to do. And it makes me feel good to be able to step back because there's somebody else that wants to be part of the committee and give them an opportunity to do it and feel proud that we've done a lot for the town.
Good. Well, awesome. Thank you very much, Kath.
Thank you so much. I mean, thank you for your contributions to the town. And
Norman has something.
On behalf of town hall employees, I want to take this opportunity to thank you, Kathy, for the wonderful, fantastic, fabulous work that you've done for us. Our employee experience, as of now, would not be what it is. It is positive, it is forward-looking. It's something that we all wake up in the morning thinking, hey, we're going to Hopkinton to serve the community. All of that would not have been possible without your tireless effort as a member of the personnel committee. And in fact, your practical experience working in this field has been very, very helpful for us, especially in our work with regard to benefits, how we relate to unions and so forth. So I really want to take this opportunity again to thank you on behalf of town hall employees.
Thank you, Norman. Appreciate it.
And in recognition, we have a certificate that we would like to present to you.
We'll get a photo.
Yes. Where we go? What's the best spot for the right here?
Yeah, right inside here.
Inside?
Yeah, inside here, I think this.
I'm pretty close.
Booby hatch.
My knees. You were the first Mary, I'm the second Mary.
I know. Well, this is her night.
Thank you.
Thank you, everyone.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. One time. Over here.
Can I say something?
Of course. Please.
I'd just like to say that my family has endured me being a town official, and when all the kids were grown up, I had my husband folding and stuffing ZBA envelopes. So they've all had a part, and I tried to instill in them that this is our town. We need to make sure that we know what's going on and protect it for the future generations. And thank you.
Thank you,
You've done a
Mary.
wonderful job
Thank you,
instilling
Mary.
that.
As I said, you were the first Mary up here.
And Mary, it should be noted that I wouldn't be sitting here without your help. So everything that you've done for me is massively appreciated, much more than I ever convey to you, but I can't thank you enough for all the stuff that you've done for me.
So wait a minute, you created this?
Yes. Yes, and I have her back, so I'll block, she can run, she is safe as safe can be.
Awesome. Okay, the next agenda item, we have some Eagle Scouts here. The Select Board will recognize Eagle Scouts Noah Schonhorn and Ryan DeLivia and Daniel DeLivia. Ryan greatly appreciates the invitation to the meeting, but he is not able to attend. He is currently a sophomore at the University of Vermont and has a lab scheduled at this time.
That's actually Noah, can't attend.
Noah, okay.
It's a typo.
All right.
Yep.
We have Ryan and Daniel here?
Yep.
All right. Why don't you go first?
My name is Daniel DeLiva. I'm honored to have earned the rank of Eagle Scout with part of Troop 1. My Eagle Scout project, I built a granite patio, or a patio in the back of the senior center with a granite chess table and seats for seniors to enjoy throughout the year, or not the winter. A special shout out to Swenson Granite, Western Nurseries, and McIntyre Loam, and as well as Amy Beck of the senior center for all their hard work and donations. I could not have made the project without them, and I'm so happy to have done it for everyone to enjoy.
So you actually coordinated all these organizations to come together and to donate and to work together on that?
Yes, I went to each place, told them what I was doing, and it was so lucky to have received donations and discounts to be able to purchase these materials.
Oh, fabulous. And who actually did the installation?
It was me and part of some members of my scouts, some scouts in my troop, and as well as my dad and brothers. We all helped pitch in to get it done.
That's incredible. That's awesome. Board members, do you have anything?
Yeah, so I got a couple of things. So you stole my thunder. Normally I say, would you like to thank anybody? So that was all inclusive. So again, you Eagle Scouts keep one-upping each other. So you're making me think on my feet. I have to come up with another question. So as someone in my professional life who does a lot of hiring, I know that when I'm looking at resumes, and I say this repeatedly when Eagle Scouts come up, that if it's a close race between you and somebody else that may or may not be an Eagle Scout, I certainly lean on the fact that you're an Eagle Scout. It's something that you're going to carry with you for the rest of your life. It's something you should be very, very proud of. And it just shows your perseverance, and it shows your courage and your dedication. The one thing I will note that you left out on who you'd like to thank would be your parents. So there will be a curfew for quite a bit longer, I'm sure. But I'm sure that there's nothing, like, you couldn't have done anything without their help. Thank you very much. Congratulations.
Thank you.
I always love when the Eagles come and they tell us about their projects, and it's so nice to have a project for the senior center. And they've done so many things around town. I think about when I go around and I see something, I go, oh yeah, one of the Eagle Scouts did that, or one of the Eagle Scouts did that. And it's just such an asset to the town of Hopkinton. I also see that you're both from Troop 1. Way back in the day, I was treasurer for Troop 1. and my boys were affiliated with that troop, so I'm very proud of you two.
Thank you.
Yeah, so thank you so much for your work. I had the pleasure of attending your Court of Honor a couple of weeks ago, right before the hurricane. And I really appreciate the work at the Senior Center. It's nice to leave a permanent mark on the town that people are going to enjoy for years, and think of, and appreciate the Scouts for doing that. So wish you the best of luck. Hope you'll come back and see the project in the future.
Muriel?
Yeah, thank you so much. As a mom of an Eagle Scout, I know how much work goes into the project. And then, like Joe pointed out, and others have pointed out, this town has been the beneficiary of so many wonderful projects. I particularly appreciate that you invested in the seniors with your project. I think that that's a wonderful way for a member of the younger generation to really invest in our seniors and improve the senior center, which is a fabulous facility. So thank you very much and congratulations for your hard work. It's
Thank
very
you.
impressive.
Thank you very much.
Again, it's just incredible what you've been able to do, using your resources and just kind of organizing. It's impressive. So congratulations. Thank you for serving the town. And the senior center is going to be forever grateful. That's your mark. It ain't going away.
Thank you very much.
Ryan, how are you today?
Good, how are you?
Excellent.
My Eagle Scout project was the pouring and installation of an asphalt pad at EMC Park, and then using a stencil to trace out and paint a map of the United States with labels for kids to learn geography and like just have a more physical, hands-on way of learning the states and capitals and all that stuff.
You know, I love that. My kids hated me because every time I took them to the doctor, they had a similar thing, and I would play the geography game with them, name this capital. So how'd you come up with this idea, and how'd you make it come to fruition?
Honestly, I took some inspiration through looking up Eagle Scout project ideas, and I saw a couple ones that said making installations and like painting stuff on playgrounds, and then I kind of developed it from there and made it my own.
Excellent. And you reached out to pavers to put in the blacktop?
Yes, I received a very generous donation of materials and labor costs from Asphalt Engineering, and it's very nice of them to help me with that.
Oh, that's incredible. So thank you for for your project. Again, this is your stamp on the town, and that's going to be there. So impressive.
So most of my comments were covered with Daniel. They all go for you as well. But one thing kind of off the map is I have a woman that works for me who very tragically, her grandson, 19-year-old grandson, a few months ago, in a very much a freak accident in Woburn, got shot and is paralyzed and is still in the hospital. He's getting ready to be discharged from Spalding to Woburn, and she asked if we could help out with this handicap ramp that she wants to build. So we went out to the house a couple of weeks ago, and the Woburn Boy Scouts were there in mass. There were hundreds of them there, and they built that entire ramp. They got their materials donated. Everything was donated. They brought carpenters. They brought engineers. But you guys you work like just a finely oiled machine, and it's no coincidence that the path you guys forge, when you go to these companies, it's a no-brainer. If they're able to, they're happy to donate to you guys, and just great job.
Thank you.
As I said before, I love when the Eagle Scouts come and I find out what projects and what they're doing, and I see them. But not only in Hopkinton, but I have worked in other towns and seen Eagle Scouts, and it's amazing. I mean, from dog parks to, I'm always amazed at how much you do and how hard the work is, and that you manage to do it in the time constraints that you have, and put together all the rest. I see all your badges, and they all represent hard work, and I just want to compliment you and thank you very much.
Thank you.
Yeah, I wanted to add my thanks too, and I think it's neat that you both did projects that are different than usual. We see a lot of trail work, but it's different to do the senior center and then the EMC playground, and especially during COVID, I think it's really nice for people to have these things to do outdoors where they might feel more safe. And for kids, just when the playground changes a little bit every so often, it's really nice for them to come back, and the playground's a little different than the last time they were there. And we really appreciate your work for the town. People are going to enjoy it for many years to come.
Muriel?
Yes, thank you. So it's very hard to go last, because many good things have been said, but I certainly want to just reiterate how much we appreciate the way that you invested, and how impressive it is that on top of all your scholarship, and I'm sure sporting investments as well, you're able to find the time to really lead and design, lead, and do a project of this size. So very well done, congratulations.
Thank you.
I just want to add, earning your Eagle Scout, and, Mr. Tedstone already said it, but this is something you carry with you for the rest of your life, and that's a very proud achievement. And it's going to make a difference as you go forward. It shows who you are. So congratulations.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Congratulations to the parents, too. See over there.
We do have certificates for you, proclamations. We just need to get one more signature, so those will be sent to you in the mail. Should we do a photo?
Yeah, photo, sure.
Yep. Let's go this way.
I was going to jump over.
I want to see that.
Get out of the way.
Part 4.
Thank you for your time.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Congratulations.
Yeah, sure.
All right, you look at here first. And then you look at John. Turn it on. Thank you. Congratulations, guys.
All right, let's bring in the white shirts.
All right. I see a parade of people outside.
Yeah.
Next agenda item, new fire chief ceremony. The select board will conduct the swearing-in ceremony.
Maybe.
Wait for Mr. Kamalo, I think.
Yeah.
Decent show.
Yeah. Maybe. Hard to tell. I'm sorry, this is awesome.
This is cool. All right.
Get everyone in. We're not starting until everyone's in.
He's still coming.
Good call. Please, come on in.
There's room, come on in.
We have room, there's seats too. All right, the select board will conduct a swearing-in ceremony for William R. Miller, our new fire chief, and review and consider approving section 19B1 form filed by the incoming Chief Miller regarding his relationship to his brother-in-law, Lieutenant Kraus. Mr. Kamalo.
What a beautiful evening. Thank you, everybody, for coming out. I would like to respectfully suggest that the board consider the Form 19 first before the swearing-in ceremony. And by way of introduction, Chief Miller has submitted the Section 19B1 form to the Select Board as his hiring authority. Here's why. His brother-in-law is also employed by the department. This presents a financial conflict. By definition, the chief is precluded from participating in any matter in which his brother-in-law has a financial interest. unless the select board expressly permit his participation by approving said form. I would like to share with the board and the community that the chief provided all the information required for this type of review. That review was conducted by myself and town council. We looked at all the likely instances in which the conflict that I described might arise. It could arise in instances when he is scheduling personnel, assisting the town manager in negotiating the union contracts, discipline. And we concluded after that review with town council that it was appropriate for Bill to present this form to the select board tonight for your consideration. And he's here tonight and available to answer any questions you may have.
So I've actually read your form, and I agree with what town council has to say. I don't think that, I don't have much to ask about it. Board members?
I would say just by us having him pass muster with us last meeting would eliminate any question of his ethics and his morals. The fact that he made it through all the interviews and all the process, it would eliminate any question of integrity or morals.
Yeah, I read through the form as well, and I'm glad that's all in writing and clear, and that it looks like you won't be doing any reviews of your brother-in-law, which makes sense. And the document is in our select board packet if anyone wants to read it, but I think it's really important to have this all clear and in writing so everyone knows about the conflict and we can move forward in the correct way.
Mary Jo?
Well, you've been vetted and vetted and vetted, so I think we know we have a good product here, and I expect a very smooth transition.
Maria?
Thank you.
Yeah, hi, thank you. I appreciate the declaration as well, and have no questions about anybody's ethics or purpose. I think that it is also serves to be protective of both our new fire chief and his brother-in-law, who is an employee. I'm sorry if I missed it, but for the public's benefit, until there is a deputy chief, who is Bill's brother-in-law reporting to for reviews?
Chief, you want to answer that?
It would be, I'd work with HR on that. I would go to HR.
Do you hear that, Muriel? That's an ongoing issue that he's dealing with human resources.
Okay, so we're working that fine point out.
Yep.
Perfect. I appreciate that, and I think that makes a great deal of sense. And I appreciate the answer, and good luck.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, so I move that the board has reviewed the Section 19B1 form filed by Bill Miller and the financial interest identified. The board determines that the financial interest is not so substantial as to deemed likely to affect the integrity of the services which the town may expect from him.
Do I have a second? Okay, any discussion? Hearing none, we'll do a roll call vote. Ms. Ritterbusch?
Amy Ritterbusch, yes.
Ted Stone, yes.
The Frenier, yes.
Muriel Kramer?
Muriel Kramer, yes.
And Irfan Nasrullah is a yes.
Thank you.
So at the last meeting, the board voted to appoint William R. Miller as fire chief, subject to successful contract negotiations, which I'm pleased to say have been completed.
So again, for the people that weren't here before, Chief, congratulations.
Thank you.
I know that this is been a subject loaded with angst for you. I know that you took nothing for granted, and I know how serious you're going to take the position. I know because I worked with you. I was a call firefighter somewhat of a call firefighter for a short time back when you got on. I've worked with you. I've worked with many of the guys here. You are inheriting a department that is a well-oiled machine. You're the tip of the spear, and it's all going in the right direction, and I have nothing but the highest level of confidence that you will not only carry on the tradition of the Hopkins Fire Department, the tradition of every chief that I've ever known to be just absolutely awesome, but to bring your staff along with you and to gain momentum and keep that ball rolling. So from the bottom of my heart, congratulations. I'm very proud of you.
Thank you, Brandon.
Yep. I'm not sure I have anything to add, but we're very excited to have you on board and have this all set, but welcome.
Thanks, Amy.
Congratulations.
Well, you have a very impressive crew backing you up here tonight. And this is kind of really strange, but I would like to know where all you men in uniform come from. Would you mind just saying your name and the town you come from, please? That's all.
Keith Roby, Ashland Fire.
Steve Achilles, Southborough Fire.
Morahan Ashland Fire?
Tim Chokes, Sudbury Fire.
Jim McLaughlin, Franklin Fire.
Tom Bellucci, Franklin Fire.
Jim Clutch, Franklin Fire. Mark Nelson, Milton Fire. Tom Porter, Hopkins Fire.
Scott Jurassic, Hopkinton. Gary Darty, Hopkins.
Bill Cross, Hopkins Fire.
Thank you all very much, and I'm sure Bill appreciates your support.
Mayor Kramer?
Thank you. Bill, I'm very sorry not to be there in person tonight, and to share this really special moment, but I congratulate you, and I look forward to working with you. I think that you're going to have a very successful tenure, and we're very lucky to have you on board.
Thank you, Muriel.
When she said tenure, she meant 10 years.
So just to be clear, Mr. Stetson does not never speaks for me.
That was a joke.
I know.
Well, I just want to say I'm super excited that you're here and that you're going to be our new chief. I know that you work closely with Chief Slayman.
Yes.
And I know you've learned all the ropes through him, and I have all the confidence in the world that you're going to take it to the next level.
Thank you.
Congratulations.
Thank you very much.
Connor, sorry. Mr. Qualley, you have some to add?
Yeah, with your permission, Mr. Chair, Connor Deegan, our town clerk, is here to administer the oath of office.
You just repeat after me and raise your right hand. I, William R. Miller,
I, William R. Miller,
promise to impart my profession standards
promise to impart my profession and standards
of the quality and integrity
of quality and integrity,
and shall endeavor to merit public confidence in the position of fire chief.
public confidence in the position of fire chief,
And I do solemnly swear
and I do solemnly swear
and affirm
and affirm
that I will faithfully and impartially
faithfully and impartially
discharge, perform all the duties incumbent upon me
discharge all the duties incumbent upon me
as fire chief of the town of Hopkinton
as fire chief of the town of Hopkinton
to the best of my ability,
to the best of my ability,
in accordance with the Constitution of the United States of America,
in accordance with the Constitution of the United States of America,
the laws of the Commonwealth of Massachusetts,
the laws of the Commonwealth of Massachusetts,
and the charter and bylaws of the town of Hopkinton.
and the charters and bylaws of the town of Hopkinton.
Congratulations, Chief.
Congratulations.
I think we didn't go to the public.
I noticed your lovely wife up here,
Chief,
too.
did you, before you leave, did you want to say a couple of words, or?
I would love to.
Here we go.
No, seriously, just really quick, like, you had said something earlier, Brendan, to the Boy Scouts when they were given their thanks, and you brought a valid point up, and you said, you didn't thank your family. So, first of all, I want to thank my family, my wife, my kids, my extended family, which is the Brotherhood and Sisterhood of the Fire Service. Without all of this, I would not be here today. Thank Chief Slayman. I know he's on the mend. He's doing well. Hopefully he's watching. He's proud. Again, thank the Select Board. This is a great, great honor to be stepping into this position and filling these shoes. So, again, thank you to everybody.
Congrats, Chief.
Congratulations, Chief.
Thank you.
Now dismissed. We got
Chief, coming from a firefighting family myself, I just want to thank your wife for allowing you to take on this job, because it's the whole family that gets involved.
It is.
Yes.
Very exciting.
Yeah. Hey, one second before you leave. Did we take a picture last time with the board?
We did not take a photo.
No.
I think we need to. We got photographers here.
Up front again?
Go over there.
I think you should come too.
Hi, this is for Chrissy's. Not too bad. This is for HQ. Quiet. The other chief? The independent. Great, thank you.
Thank you.
Congratulations.
I just want to get the two of you. Perfect, thank you.
You want to do some push-ups? I'll take
Yeah, it's not just getting rid of the shoulder. Some because I got
All right. Okay, COVID-19 update. Sean McAuliffe, the Public Health Director, will update the board on the town's response to the COVID-19 pandemic. Mr. McAuliffe, you got 5 minutes.
So as of today, Hopkinton's COVID-19 metrics continue to improve. Please acknowledge that we will closely monitor our statistics through the week as we are monitoring whether or not the Labor Day weekend has caused any shift nationwide. It's been recognized that travel is one of the leading risk factors, and it's one of the leading risk factors in Hopkinton. So we're all monitoring our rates through the next 4 days, and if we make it through the next 4 days, I think we'll be in good shape. Moving forward, we have 93 cases of COVID since August 1st. Approximately 85% of those cases are believed to have resulted from the Delta variant. 45 of those cases are breakthrough cases, so those that are fully vaccinated. 22 of those cases are from children that are too young to have been fully vaccinated. 26 of those were unvaccinated. Hopkinton is averaging 2.45 cases per day, which is, it's pretty good compared to other communities of our size. Our 2-week case count is 21, and that's dropped from 33 and 39 the previous 2 weeks. Our percent positivity continues to drop. Our current rate is 1.66. Our goal is to be below 1. We've dropped consistently over the last 3 weeks from a high of just about 3 to 2.7, 2.33. So we're definitely moving in the right direction. And a lot of that has to do to our high vaccination rates, and just the residents in general are responsive to the messaging, the communications that we're putting out. Our testing rate is great. We're averaging 700 tests per week. Our vaccination rate is exceptional. Over 95% of the residents within each age group have received their first vaccination. The only age group that you'll see on the state metric that is below 95 is the 20 to 29-year-old age group. And again, we believe that is because a large majority of the college-age kids got vaccinated on campus, and those records haven't been transmitted to the state. Our vaccination rate, our fully vaccinated rate, all of the metrics are above 91% now, except for that 20 to 29-year-old age group, and that's at 81%. So among communities over a population of 10,000, we have one of the top vaccination rates in the state. So it's something, again, for us to be proud of. It certainly makes my job a little easier. And we're putting plans together right now to get the under 12 age group vaccinated, and then we're just awaiting authorization from the state to look at vaccinating the vulnerable population, and then we're trying to put together a plan to respond to the booster shots when we receive that notification. Norman and I have talked about assessing race and ethnicity, and in Hopkinton, our minority groups are outstanding, over 95% fully vaccinated across the board. Our leading opportunity right now is with white males over the age of 40. So that's, we're evaluating how we can put out and create messaging for that age group. So over the last week, 63% of the cases that we had have, again, they're resulting from travel. 26% of those are from large household gatherings. So at the end of the day, what our key message to the residents of Hopkinton is, A, it's not too late to be vaccinated. B, we need to avoid or reduce our risk or our exposure to high-risk environments. So airport travel is, an issue. Going to large gatherings, I have a concert I'm supposed to attend next week that I'm probably going to pass on because it's an indoor event, and I'm just not willing to put myself and my family at risk. It's, using face coverings, distancing, and improved hygiene measures. And then one of the things that's been coming up a lot with the residents is, as we're starting the school year, parents are inquiring what they can do to protect their kids. We know that we have a good baseline and we have a good, strong system in the school department. So what our advice lately has been is, as they're shopping around for outdoor activities or just activities in general for their children, that they do so with COVID in mind. They should be asking if the programs that they're enrolling their kids in have COVID protocols, that they're responsive. They should take a little extra time to verify that these protocols are in place. And at the end of the day, let their dollars do the talking, because what we're looking to do is educate the public so that they can make educated decisions that will protect the health of their children and family members. And that's it for COVID.
Excellent. Board members, any questions?
Nope.
No, I think it's really interesting to hear all the stats every time, and I appreciate you. And you're starting the email up again every week or so. There's been an email update, so residents who are not subscribed to those might want to subscribe. I think those are very helpful.
Yeah, and we are working on developing a program for testing. That's because, the issue is, as we start vaccinating, we can't have, we don't have the bandwidth to be able to become a full-time testing facility. So we're trying to develop a program and a protocol for providing testing to the community. But if people are in desperate need, we have antigen tests at the department to people out with.
When it comes to the bonus booster shots, will we be having a program like we did with the initial shots, or will we be going to our pharmacy to get them, or?
The state's current plan is for pharmacies, primary care physicians, hospitals, with health departments providing backup. And our plan is to run something similar to what we did, be it at the senior center or another location. And we'll be providing vaccines out of the nurse's office, and we're waiting for a lot of guidance from the state. And the issue right now is I'm hesitant to order vaccines if the boosters are going to be pushed out another month or 2 months, because I don't want to, I don't want to waste any vaccine. So we're, every day, we follow up with the DPH, our local representatives, and...
I have one more question. If you got Pfizer or Moderna, should you get the same booster? It doesn't make a difference. I mean, if you got Moderna, should you stay with Moderna, or if you got Pfizer, should you stay with Pfizer?
For Pfizer and Moderna, the general guidance is that you should stick with the shot that you received the first time.
Okay.
However, if one is available and the other is not, you can go with that other shot.
Okay.
But not J&J.
Right. But not J&J. So.
Miriam?
Yeah, thank you. I don't have any other questions. I was going to ask about the boosters as well. But Sean, I really appreciate your continued presence and information in the way that the public has really been able to count on you and your department. It's really gratifying to have the latest information at our fingertips. I so appreciate the work you're doing.
No, it's my pleasure. It's my job.
So I have one question for you. The breakthrough cases, well, two questions. First off, the breakthrough cases and the fully vaccinated, what were the outcomes, and how did they do? Were they mild symptoms?
I'd say roughly 98% have been asymptomatic. Most are finding out that they were positive when getting tested for work or for travel, so they weren't even aware. They were completely asymptomatic. We had one individual in their 80s who had they weren't even mild flu-like symptoms, more maybe like a stronger cold, but recovered after a few days. And then we had one who had more severe symptoms, but it was related to vaping.
Okay.
Vaping is a serious risk factor. Smoking is a risk factor. Okay. So if anybody wants to entertain an offer to stop smoking, we're ready to step in to provide them a better outcome if they were to get COVID.
My other question is, are you, with the tests that you're administering, are you able to determine if it's a Delta variant, or is there, it just goes back positive, or?
The state and I now, we communicate, anytime we see a breakthrough case, we have a follow-up protocol with the DPH, and they're starting to do this a little more on their own, because what they've done is they've merged. The database where all the vaccinations are kept has been merged, or it's accessible to the MAVEN database, where we do all of our communicable disease reporting. So that information then it's followed by the epidemiologists, and when they see that someone has a breakthrough case and it's within, say, 2 to 5 days of testing, they then communicate with the testing lab. In this area, more often than not, it's with the Broad Institute, and they request that split sample be tested and sequenced for variants. Okay. And the general thumb is that between the CDC and the state's work, they're seeing that mass is anywhere between 83 and 85% Delta. and again, if we continue to keep our vaccination rates up, if we continue to be as responsive as we've been, I think we're going to have much better outcomes than those that are not. So.
Excellent. Thank you very much. We really appreciate the update.
Thank you.
Everything you're doing.
All right.
Thanks.
Yeah.
Through the chair, can I just, I got a little late breaking news that the Hopkinton Night Out, scheduled for Thursday, is postponed due to the weather. There's no makeup date yet, but they are working on it.
Okay. Thank you.
That's a great event, by the way.
Yeah?
Yeah, it is. I always enjoy it.
Well, hopefully we can get it rescheduled soon before the weather gets too cold.
Can't get cold enough fast enough for me, sir.
Appointments, boards and committees and officials. The board will consider making appointments to offices, boards, and committees this evening. The board will start with traffic constables.
Mr. Chair, through you, I move to appoint Kyle Stark and Allison Rothenberg as traffic constables to a term expiring 6/30/2024.
Second.
Any discussion? Hearing none.
Amy Ritter Bush, yes?
Ted Stone, yes?
Lafreniere, yes?
Muriel
Kramer, yes?
Rafanas Rulli, yes. The board will now consider boards and committee appointments. Council on Aging, there is a vacancy for one full member and 2 associate members. The board has received an application from Gail Levine for reappointment as a full member. The board has received an application from Susan Pearson as well, who is new to the Council on Aging. Gail Levine could not be present.
Mr. Chair, I move to appoint Gail Levine as a full member of the Council on Aging to a term expiring 6/30/24, and to appoint Susan Pearson as an associate member of the Council on Aging to a term expiring 6/30/2024.
Second.
Okay, any discussion? Hearing none. Take a roll call vote.
Amy Ritter Bush, yes?
Ted Stone, yes?
Lafreniere, yes?
Kramer, yes?
Rafanas Rulli, yes. The Marathon Committee. There is one vacancy for a citizen member of the committee, and there are 2 applicants. Alex Danahy is requesting reappointment, and Paula Garland is a newer applicant. This committee works directly with the BAA, and members have specific responsibilities requiring some training. In that regard, the board may wish to consider recommendation of the Marathon Committee Chair, especially since the Boston Marathon is next month.
Is there a discussion on the board?
Yeah. I was on the Marathon Committee for a good number of years, and Alex Danahy joined, I don't know, was it end of high school or his first few years of college. And he's been in charge of the wheelchair contingent at the Boston Marathon, and they absolutely love him, and he has done a wonderful job, and I recommend his reappointment to the Marathon Committee. He's been on for about 14 years, and we were having this strange race outside of the regular perimeters. I think the continuity of that committee is really important at this time. So I recommend Alex Danahy for the position.
I agree with Mrs. Lafreniere that it makes sense to reappoint Alex Danahy as recommended, but I really appreciate Paula Garland applying also, and she expressed interest in other committees too, so I hope she'll consider applying to some of the other openings, or maybe next year for Marathon Committee.
Absolutely. Muriel Kramer?
Yeah, I wholeheartedly recommend that we reappoint Alex. I've known him. I had the great fortune of having my kids go to school with him, and I've watched him participate in town in many ways, but particularly with this marathon, and it's really invaluable service, and I appreciate his dedication.
He's awesome. Mr. Chair, I move to appoint Alex Danahy to the Marathon Committee to a term expiring 6/30/2024, and to clarify that Marathon Committee terms for citizens are for 3 years in length.
Second.
Okay, we have a motion and it's seconded. Any discussion? Hearing none, we'll take a roll call vote.
Amy Ritter Bush, yes?
Ted Stone, yes?
Lafreniere, yes?
Kramer, yes?
And Rafanas Rulli is a yes. The Marathon Committee also includes town department representatives, appointment for one-year terms. No members were appointed last year since the event was virtual. The names of the appointees have been submitted by each department or board, and they are Joe Bennett from the Police Department, John Porter from the Police Department, Bill Miller from the Fire Department, Mike Manzier from the Department of Public Works, Tim Person from the School Department, and Lisa Jackson from Parks and Recreation.
Mr. Chair, I move to appoint Chief Bennett, Lieutenant Porter, Chief Miller, Mike Manser, Tim Pearson, and Lisa Jackson to the Marathon Committee as representatives of their respective departments and boards to terms expiring 6/30/2022.
Second.
Okay, we have a motion and seconded. Any discussion? Hearing none. Roll call vote.
Amy Rodobush, yes?
Ted Stone, yes.
Lafreniere, yes.
Aaron Gregory, yes.
And Nirfanis Rule is a yes. The remaining board committee appointments on the agenda are unopposed. We can make one motion or break them out for a separate vote. How do we want to go?
So I just have a question on Patricia Duarte. I had read in Hop News a few months ago that she had sold her house. Does she still live in town?
She has an apartment, I believe.
Okay.
Yeah.
Good.
Okay.
All right. So, through the chair, I move to appoint the following board members, the board and committee members. David Godfroy to the Permanent Building Committee to a term expiring 6/30/2024. Patricia Duarte to the Personnel Committee to a term expiring 6/30/24. Cynthia Estheimer as the Parks and Rec designee on the Upper Charles Trails Committee to a term expiring 6/30/2024. Stephen Jackson to the Veteran Celebration Committee to a term expiring 6/30/2024. And Selden McNeil to the Veteran Celebration Committee to a term expiring 6/30/2024.
Second.
Okay, we have a motion and seconded. Any discussion?
Yeah, I just want to throw out there that there were 5 vacancies on the Veteran Celebration Committee, so we still have to fill 3. If anybody out there is interested, please come forward.
Thank you. We'll take a roll call vote.
Amy Rodobush, yes?
Ted Stone, yes.
Lafreniere, yes.
Aaron Gregory, yes.
Nirfanis Rule is a yes. Public Safety Dispatcher. The board will consider confirming the town manager's appointment of Shannon Casey as full-time public safety dispatcher. Mr. Kamala?
Respectfully requesting that we appoint Shannon Casey as a full-time public safety dispatcher. She has worked for the community as a part-time dispatcher, done a fantastic job in that role, been available for shifts when called upon, grew up here in Hopkinton, understands the community, and the hiring committees that were part of this process recommended unanimously, and I therefore am asking that the board affirm the town manager's appointment of Shannon Casey as a full-time public safety dispatcher.
Excellent. Board members, any questions?
Yeah, I see the police chief and Megan Durad back there, who is public safety also, and I'd just like to hear how you guys feel about this appointment.
Thumbs up.
Sorry, Shannon's on the Zoom too.
Being on the committee for both the processes with, Joe was on one.
Come on up, Joe.
I was on both, and it was unanimous amongst everybody on all the committees, so we've seen her work already, so we know how well she is at doing the job, and her dedication to the department's pretty impressive for being there for 6 months or so.
Okay.
Yep, I also support this selection, and I'd like to take a moment to just thank HR. The work of HR is never-ending. In fact, I had 3 meetings with them today, so
thank you very much.
Awesome. I also understand that Shannon is on the Zoom.
She is.
Can we liven her up and have her say a word or two?
Shannon, you there?
She's on mute.
It's hard.
We'll give her a minute.
There we go. Hear me now?
Oh, hi.
There we got you.
Welcome.
Sorry, thank you.
Hope you're not driving.
No, I'm here.
Okay.
Just got somebody else.
Certainly looks like you're driving. Would you like to say a few words?
I'm just super grateful for the opportunity. I'm very, very excited to get in full time. I've been doing it part-time for a few months now, and I absolutely love it. Like, I just feel like I belong there. So I'm really excited to help serve the community and be a part of an awesome team.
Well, fantastic. Well, you went through your trial period, and we have a very high recommendations for you.
Thank you.
So, I request a motion to confirm the town manager's appointment of Shannon Casey as public safety dispatcher.
So moved.
Second.
Any discussion? Hearing none. We'll do a roll call vote.
Amy Ritterbush, yes?
Ted Stone, yes.
Lafreniere, yes.
Is Muriel Kramer still alive there?
Yeah, I'm yes.
Okay, excellent.
No jumping there, Irfan.
Irfan, this rule is a yes, too. Congratulations, Shannon.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you. Okay, Housing Authority appointment. This is a joint meeting with the Housing Authority. The Select Board and the remaining members of the Housing Authority will interview candidates Nancy Draw and Joseph Tobin and consider voting to fill one Housing Authority vacancy with a term to expire at the end of the 2022 annual town election. There are presently two vacancies, one appointed by the Select Board and one by the Governor's Office. Are the members of the Housing Authority present?
Yes, as Chair of the Housing Authority, I'm here to represent the board.
I think one member is on Zoom.
Oh, okay, I didn't know if John or Darlene Hayes or John Lewis.
Can we liven them up, then?
What?
Ben?
They're good?
Good, all right. So are the candidates present?
Yes, this is Nancy Draw. We voted at our last meeting on August 11th to support her candidacy or her application.
Excellent. Welcome, Nancy.
Thank you.
Would you like to say a few words and
Sure,
tell us why you're interested?
Sure. Well, I've actually been a resident of Davis Road for coming on 22 years now, and I have attended most all of the board meetings, except for this past year, of course, as a tenant, not only as a tenant, but also formerly as the vice president of the Tenants Association. So I have always been interested. What I'm interested in now is going one step further up and actually being a part of the board that is an advocate for the residents. And since I live there, I know them and I know what their needs are, and not having a say before into what, their financial, what they could benefit from the board. I would like to be part of that and know that these tenants are going to be taken care of, because I'm also a tenant. So it means, as a resident, it means a lot to me to know that someone up there is, someone is also, who lives there, is also going to be on their side and wants to help them out. So that's really important to me. And it has been for all these years. Even as the vice president of the Tenant Association, we didn't have any say in what the budget was for or anything. We just was there to advise, the tenants or help them out or report any problems to the director. But now I can be, I'd like to be part of the board with these guys that actually are advocates for the tenants, and not just the director of the place, but the people too. So
Excellent.
important to me.
Thank you. Board members, do you have any questions?
No, I just...
Amy, why don't you go first?
I totally had a procedural question. There are two vacancies. One, I think we're waiting for an appointment from a suggestion from the governor, but with two applicants and they both live in the housing authority, will there be an opportunity later, maybe we could appoint them to the second seat?
Well, the idea was that we're planning to forward the process for becoming the governor's appointee to the second applicant.
Great.
And it is a little bit of an involved process, but that's our plan.
Okay, that sounds great.
That's a good question. And I just want to say that having worked elections and having worked at the senior center with Nancy, known her for many years, and find that she is efficient and she does whatever job she's asked to do in a very straightforward and a terrific manner, and is well thought of by the whole senior community. And I think she would be an asset to this board. Thank you.
Yeah, same. I've known Punky for a long time, grew up with her brothers, worked with her other brother, known her and her family for a lot. I knew your dad very well too. So I think that you would definitely be a welcome addition to that committee.
And I think from everything you just said, it sounds as though, I like the idea that living there and being part of the tenants group and being able to, have that perspective. I think it's a wonderful, wonderful perspective, and would be a good addition to the housing authority.
It sounds like it'll be a really good fit, and you're already up to speed with everything, for having attended the meetings.
Absolutely. Muriel?
Yeah, I just wanted to say how happy I am to see that you've applied, Punky, and I know that the residents are going to be lucky to have you there, and I know that the town and the board and the state are lucky to have you there as well. So thank you very much for putting your name in the hat.
Thanks, Muriel.
Mr. Chair, I move to appoint Nancy Draw to the Housing Authority to a term expiring at the 2022 annual town election.
Second.
Any discussion? Actually, I just have one thing. Is Joseph Tobin available?
Yes.
Okay. Would you like to come up and speak? I mean, I think only fair to hear from both of you.
Yes, for sure.
Thank you, thank you.
Who you were.
Hi, everyone.
Hi.
Joe Tobin. 67 Davis Road. I've lived there about 3.5 years, going on 4. Very pleased to be part of a very vibrant community there. It doesn't always seem that way, but believe me, there's a lot going on behind the scenes. It makes it fun in our town. I'm originally from Situate, down on the South Shore, but I've lived all over the country. I'm retired just very recently. I don't know whether to go forwards or backwards, so I'll go forwards. I worked for about 30 years in the broadcasting business, and I was in the movie theater business. I was a union motion picture operator in Boston for quite a few years, until that went the way of all things because of, video kind of killed the film stars, you guys are aware, so that was that. I found myself on a third reinvention as a substance abuse counselor, and worked for Spectrum Health Systems out of Worcester and Westboro for about 8 years, and finished up with them in June. So got a little time on my hands. I very much love where I live, and it'd be a pleasure to represent. And you know what? It's a tough act to follow. Everybody knows Punky. Everybody knows Punky. So consider me the 9 o'clock scholar and on this one, but thank you for a fair hearing, and I appreciate it.
Thank you. All right, so we have a motion that's been seconded. We'll take a roll call vote.
Amy Roderbush, yes?
Ted Stone, yes?
Lafreniere, yes.
Muriel Kramer?
Yes.
And Irfan Nasrullah is a yes. But Joseph,
We think the housing committee members have to
Oh,
vote too,
yes.
right?
Yeah, we have.
You voted
they've already
Yeah, we voted at
We've already
our August 11th meeting. I don't know. We have to call the meeting to order. I don't even know.
No, it says.
We've already voted, so.
Yeah, we already voted.
Okay.
Okay. So, Joseph, the only thing I wanted to add is there is a procedure for being the governor's appointee.
Yes, sir.
So please work with the authority and, get that going, because
Certainly will. Thank you.
I certainly hate to see somebody who's trying to get on a board and can't.
I think there are openings on the Affordable Housing Committee and maybe Council on Aging, unless we just filled them both tonight. So there are other opportunities too, I think, if you're interested in those.
Very good.
We always appreciate the volunteer help.
Thank you. Thank you very kindly. I sure appreciate it.
Nice to meet you.
My pleasure.
Thank you.
Congratulations, Punky.
All right, next item on the agenda is the September 11 Memorial Ceremony. Select Board will hear from Mike Whelan and Don McNeil regarding the planned September 11th memorial event. Are they here?
Ben, are they on Zoom? Don McNeil or Mike Whalen?
No? Should we table this till, well, I guess September 11th is coming right up, so.
I'll text Don McNeil to see if he wants to get in on this, but we can.
How about we move on and we come back? If you can get him, then we'll bring him in.
Or maybe we could just state what the date is. I know I saw it in the paper. Let's see.
When we come back to that.
It'll be at the Common on September 11th from 3 to 5. Is it? Okay. So the American Legion and Old Guard New England planning a memorial service at the Common Saturday, September 11th from 3 to 5 to commemorate the 20th anniversary of the September 11th attacks and honor veterans who died during the COVID lockdown when memorial services were unable to be held. The service will include an introductory musical performance by the Hopkinton High School Band. So
excellent.
Hope they'll have good weather and everybody can attend.
Certainly.
I believe 20 years has gone by since
Isn't
that
it?
day.
Isn't it? I mean, and I think every one of us remembers where we were and what was going on that day.
Our generation's JFK.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Let me know if you hear from either of them.
I texted them.
Okay. We'll just move on to the next item, which is the quarterly deposit and investment report from the treasurer. Board will hear from Chris Hamons, treasurer, and a quarterly deposit and investment report for the period ending June 30th, 2021. Mr. Hamons.
Good evening.
Good evening.
Nice to be here in person finally.
Yes.
So I have an update tonight on the town's finances as of the fourth quarter of fiscal year 2021. And I am pleased to report that as of the end of the fiscal year, the town remains in a very strong cash position. As of the date of the report, the town holds an overall cash position of $54.9 million, which is an increase of $5.5 million from the previous quarter, as well as $14.8 million in investments. The only negative news that I have to report is that the Federal Reserve has continued the trend of lower interest rates, which, while being great if you are refinancing your mortgage, has resulted in lower yields on the town's interest-bearing deposits. On the flip side of that, however, this last June, I was able to execute a short-term borrowing in the amount of just under $5.3 million in support of town meeting-approved capital projects for the fire, school, police, and facilities departments at a net interest rate of just 0.228%. As a reference, the previous borrowing was issued at 1.8%. Receiving such a low bid is not just indicative of low interest rates, though, but also of the town's financial strength, excuse me, and stability, as well as its desirability as an issuer in the municipal bond market. The town's investments experienced gains for this quarter in line with overall market trends and the town's asset allocation strategy. The trust and stabilization funds, which are more conservatively invested, saw a gain of 1.32% and 0.82%, respectively. The other post-employee benefits investment accounts rose in value by 5.03%, which is due to the more aggressive equity allocation on this account that seeks a longer-term capital appreciation. Other notable events for the quarter include the transfer of $410,000 to the town's other post-employee benefits account, furthering our commitment to funding this liability, as well as the receipts of $1.2 million from the Legacy Farms Host Community Agreement and $966,000 from the American Rescue Plan for COVID-19 relief. And finally, during COVID-19, the town's residents have continued to be the financial bedrock for the community, as evidenced by a 98% collection rate on all tax bills issued for fiscal year 2021. Looking forward, in the coming months, the Treasurer Collector's Office will be focused on fiscal year-end reporting to the Department of Revenue, assisting with the fiscal year-end audit and budgeting process, as well as implementing a new automated cash management software platform that will improve our reporting and reconciliation efficiency while reducing operational risk. And that is all that I have. Be happy to answer any questions.
That's awesome. Board members?
Appreciate your briefness.
Do you want me to go again? You were outside.
No, I had tuned in on Zoom.
Board members?
Thanks,
Ms. Rittenbush?
Yeah, I just want to thank you for putting this together and putting it in the packet. And if members of the public have questions, they can read through the numbers themselves. And, yeah.
That's nothing from me.
No, in a nutshell, we're on target.
That's right.
Ms. Kramer?
Yeah, no, it's really good news, particularly during COVID, so congratulations to the town departments and staff, and also my appreciation to the residents who continue to do their part supporting the town.
I just want to add, great job. I'm really happy to hear how everything is going. That I just want you to repeat that interest rate again on the borrowing.
0.228%.
Wow, that's incredible. That's free money.
Almost.
Almost. Thank you so much.
Thank
really
you.
Appreciate it.
If I may, Mr. Chair, take this opportunity to thank Chris and the finance team for institutionalizing these reports. As you can tell, we are sharing quarterly with the public. In addition, this may be a good time also, Tim O'Leary, to pitch the dashboard, where all this information is now available for the public.
Sure. Okay.
Thank you, Mr. Kamala.
Thank you.
Thank you. Good evening. So we've had a long-standing desire to take all this information that we have that goes out in reports or meets requirements or comes up in a meeting, and then it's gone in the ether. If someone watches a meeting or looks at a package, they get to see the information. We've been looking for a way to institutionalize it. We have a good web package for our web page, but it's not the most advanced and most sophisticated package. It's very good for an operation our size, an enterprise our size, and the IT department does a great job fielding it. But it doesn't have the bells and whistles that the city of Los Angeles has, or that the state of Michigan has. So we've been going back and forth. Do we get a better system? Do we put out information? And we finally decided it was time to stop waiting for a better system and working on that and just push everything out there. So on the finance web page, there is a compendium of information. And if Chris could bring it up. I don't think I can get to it on my computer while I'm talking. It's basically everything you would want to know as a citizen or as a board member about where we stand. Can you just put this on the screen? So we can all see?
No.
No? I don't know if I can put it on the screen, but I can talk through. This was an on-the-fly request, and I'm delighted to have the opportunity. But I don't know if it can go up at the finance webpage. There's several sections, and there are probably about 4 dozen or 3 dozen links to those sections. Sure. So the first one is about our credit worthiness, and it talks about our AAA bond rating. And there's data there that you can click to see our bond rating. You can see the details of our last borrowing by clicking on another link. Then we go into talking about the stabilization funds and what the stabilization funds are and what they represent in terms of the operating budget. Then there's a section on the operating budget which talks about the size of the operating budget, and it contains a lot of information from the appropriation report. But it's here on the web page where anybody could access it. We go through some sources and uses of funds for the current year, the detailed departmental budget. Then we go into a section on the tax base for the town. Where does the money come from? What's the total valuation? How significant is real estate, residential real estate within that overall property valuation? And it has links to the state's tax recapitulation. Then there's a section on the debt profile. And yeah, there it goes. And there's breakdowns of the principal and interest for 22. There's information on every little piece of debt we owe. There's information on the projects that we have recently borrowed on. There's a schedule of future debt that you can click on. And then there's a little discussion about what our debt limit is. How much can we ultimately borrow? Can we go out and borrow another $200 million? That addresses that question. Then there's a little primer on the impact of spending on an individual property owner, where we talk about, explain how you as a homeowner are impacted by $100,000 or $1 million in spending, and what your share is and how it's computed. There's talk about long-term liabilities other than debt, including our pension program and the OPEB that Chris was just talking about. There's a section on integrity of financial systems and reporting. Talks and provides a link to a copy of our clean audit opinion. And then there's information on our cash flow, the things Chris just talked about. In fact, the report Chris presented is there in a link in this page. There's some summary on the water enterprise and the sewer enterprise and where they stand, community preservation and what those balances are, and then there is fiscal transparency information, including all the salaries paid last year. Some discussion about emerging issues and key documents. So really, a lot of threads to pull, and a lot of information to know. And we did this by whiteboarding the idea of what is all the information you would want to know about the finances of the town. And, someday in the next iteration, there will be a lot of pie charts and a lot of graphs and a lot of pull downs, but in a narrative form, it provides everything you could want to know, and it has links to all the information. We're still working on a few pieces, notably our collections information. And as Chris moves to a new cash reporting module that he talked about earlier tonight, we'll have better and timely information on the aging of our receivables and how our collections are doing. And we have a few more gaps we want to fill in. And then we're going to produce a series of papers on issues like the link between spending and your tax bill, the level of the town's current debt, and we're going to try to put those things out. And this whole thing really came from discussions that Mr. Kamalo and I have been having, where we think we're getting to a point where we have a really great story and we have a really good understanding of the town's finances, but we don't feel like we've deployed it all in one easy to find place. We've reported to you, we've put out information, we do the appropriation committee, which is a good annual summary of many of the issues, but we think this is the next step, the next iteration. And so we're going through this every 3 months and updating it as new documents become relevant. We're working to fill in a few more gaps, and then next year's project is to work about how to add more flair to the content. But I'm actually extremely happy with the content that's there and the story it presents. I think in the interest of transparency, this is incredible because you're really just putting it all out there so everyone can see. And I think, as you said, as you report to us, we hear it, public hears it, but then what? I think this is a great way to just kind of keep it all out in front of the public. So thank you. I think it's incredible. Yeah, the finance team really pulled together. The town accountant, Chris, the assessors added a lot, and we got a lot of support from IT really to get it this far. And it came this far pretty quickly. So we had a lot of talking, and then a very large amount of progress. Now we need to do some more talking and then make the next slug of progress.
Excellent. Yeah, I really think it's great. And the nice thing about it being on the website is that people can use the accessibility features to enlarge the text, or to have it read aloud, or to have translated to another language automatically. So that's really huge in terms of accessibility. I do agree with you. You need a few more charts and graphs to break up because it's a lot of text, but it does answer a lot of frequently asked questions that people have. So I think it's a great idea.
Thanks. Thanks for the opportunity.
Good work. This is Muriel. I just wanted to say how much I appreciate this. This is truly outstanding. I appreciate the transparency, but I also appreciate the completeness here, and that this is a great first step to compile all this information. And as you said, it'll be even slicker when there's more graphics and you've been able to put some of the data together. But this is really terrific. It's a great resource for the community, and I really appreciate it.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
I think this is a very exciting thing, and I know when we get all these questions about town finances, and some of them have been very complicated, that this will help us do our job. When we get these questions too, we can have a place for people to go and find the answers. We thank you for that.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you.
Town manager report. Mr. Kamalu.
Yeah, through the chair, first item is the Main Street Corridor Project update. In fact, thankfully, Dave is here to answer any specific questions that the board may have. The key milestone coming forth is the installation of the electrical conduits, beginning the undergrounding work.
Mm-hmm.
Get in the hot seat.
Good evening.
Again, for if the board has any specific questions.
Sure.
Yeah.
So it's just the electrical conduits is the next big milestone?
Yeah, the underground electrical vaults will be the next big phase of the construction, switching over from the drainage infrastructure. The electrical vaults, they're large structures. The hole they're going to be digging can be from 8 to 10 feet wide up to 15, 16 feet long. So we've been coordinating with Mass DOT and Town Manager's Office, Public Safety, mostly reviewing specific traffic management plans for these structures. They are going to require, during the day, right now there's 5 of them that are going to go in from 85 135 to Wood Street. There's different locations, and a construction update upcoming. We're going to be sending out information to everybody to show the locations of these manholes, the traffic management plan for each of the locations. The big surprise will be overnight we're going to have the holes are so large you can't just plate them and have vehicles drive over them. We can plate them for safety. We're going to have like Jersey barriers placed around them, and then we're going to have, if you've ever seen before in some remote areas, some not remote areas, temporary signals where they set up on each side, and we'll have one-way traffic kind of overnight through those areas. We've had, several meetings with Public Safety and Mass DOT, and that seemed to be the safest, most agreeable solution for everybody. It started off, which was a good thing, started off the contractor wanted to detour Main Street for 3 weeks straight, 365, 265, 24/7, for 3 weeks, and we were like, that's not really something I think the town's going to agree to.
So how long do we expect it all to go?
Each structure should take, it would probably take a week for each structure. So it's about 2 of the structures in the same spot, so it could be 4, 5, 6 weeks.
Okay.
So it'll be
Board members, anyone have a question?
2 questions for you. Are they on time?
MassDOT has not responded as they're behind. I've asked, and they said.
And are they on budget?
Yes, from the town standpoint, we haven't paid a nickel yet, so. As for what MassDOT pays.
Those are the 2 questions I'm
So what MassDOT pays, I'm not really,
I was going to ask if all the rain we've had has delayed some of the downtown corridor projects.
Not necessarily, not from what I've heard. We've had to coordinate some significant changes and improvements over the last 2 weeks so that, the downtown wouldn't, that some of the areas wouldn't flood like we've seen them for some of the rain events. But I think we've gotten over that hump and they've made some improvements that needed to be made, so.
I see they put the riprap barrier down at the Chuck Joseph's project.
Yeah, and that's
worked.
That's, I think DPW has coordinated that with the developer through John Kelchich and Concom, and a lot of town departments are involved with that development to make those improvements. Amarillo's lucky they get the they get the blame for whatever happens.
Yes, I know. I get the emails, we all get the emails.
We all get the emails.
I don't want to delay them at all, but I do want to know that the downtown is going to be fairly clean and workable for October 11th for the marathon.
Yes, we've had meetings. I just met with Mass DOT this morning, DPW, Eversource, Mass DOT are meeting tomorrow morning. I'm not sure if, in the update, Mass DOT is planning to, it's a little unconventional, put down a new half-inch layer of pavement just east of 85, 135 through Ash Street, including Marathon. And they're going to stripe it. It'll be all new striping. It'll be all new blacktop. So it'll look brand new. Justification for them to doing that is it should last for 2 marathons if the next marathon lasts. And we're coordinating with Amarillo to keep all their work to the west until after the next marathon. So that's the goal. We know the improvements in sidewalk and street repairs have to be done all the way through Pleasant Street. So again, we've been coordinating with all the departments in DPW, and DPW knows the contractors are responsible for X, Y, and Z, but they're planning some contingencies to have to come in and maybe do some additional cleanup if needed.
Excellent.
So this sounds like it's going to be probably the most disruptive part of the work so far, right? But so I guess the message has to be just patience. It's 4 to 6 weeks, and then this part will be over, and then it'll be back to more how it's been the rest of the summer. Is it?
Part A, yes. Part B, but we're not sure. Could be even more disruptive as they start doing the undergrounding of all the utilities to individual houses and individual buildings. Those are going to require, like water service to everybody's house. That type of project where you're going to have to, depending on what side of the street is on, you could have they call them long side service or short side service.
And this segment of work, I believe they'll be working until 7 on Main Street only, is that right?
The contractor's not going to do that unless they have to.
Unless they have to, okay.
Which, typically, if there's an emergency, they have to anyway. But with this type of work, there's a lot of coordination with the Eversource inspectors, with the town building inspectors. You can't do certain types of work until you get an inspector on site to inspect it, so you got to build in some time for that to allow. They have to pour flowable fill, which has to settle, it has to harden up before they can do X work. We've hit a lot of ledge. They're already at 250% of the ledge quantity for the project, so these large structures, they're assuming we're going to be hitting ledge again, but we've been out there doing test pits to locate some of the existing utilities to make sure, to try to best identify where some of these utilities are that are right adjacent to some of these large structures are going to go. So a lot of planning going on over the last month for this work to start.
So I'm glad you're doing the weekly emails. I think that's helpful, and the cameras that you can look at the live cam to see if there's traffic right now or not. That's great.
It's helpful to check at 10 o'clock at night as well.
And if, I was going to ask, the blinking signs, will you change them when you change over to the electrical work, about how it'll be 1 lane ahead?
We're going to ask the contractor when we're anticipating the 1 lane to change it to 1 lane traffic ahead, expect delays, seek alternate route type of thing.
Okay.
Dave, any idea, do they have a hard stop for this construction season when they're going to stop? So if it takes 6 weeks for those pits, that takes us till November. And I know that sometimes the hot top plants will shut down Thanksgiving-ish.
It is 6 weeks, isn't it? No, there's no hard
There's your first
stop.
construction season gone.
Yeah, the hard stop's weather.
Yep.
We get Halloween snowstorms, it's going to stop. They may just pull out if they don't think it's worth mobilizing again, but usually beginning of November, middle of November.
Mario?
Yeah, thank you. Dave, I really appreciate you being here. I appreciate all the external communication that's going on. and the ways that I've been noticing you responding and other people responding to the residents who have questions and concerns. With a project like this, there is so much disruption, it's really terrific that there are a lot of opportunities to engage with the details of the project and what to expect. So I appreciate you being here tonight and look forward to hearing more as we go forward.
Okay, and on that, it's all Michelle Murdoch. I'd like to, she's not here, but I'd like to give her all the credit for
She does a great job.
Maintaining the coordination and managing all the...
Great job. I have a question on, unfortunately, it's on a different subject, and I was going to ask it earlier, and then I forgot. And we have that bike race coming in, and they're using Fruit Street to get to Southborough. Is there going to be a problem with the Fruit Street Bridge? I mean, they had said they were going to leave it, one lane open all the time, but then I've heard that it's going to be closed for a period of time. And now I'm kind of worried about that bike race.
We will follow up.
All right, yeah, we can. I know John Westerling. He's out this week. It was it's a wedding, I think, but he was reviewing some of that for the bike race. I know I reviewed it for the downtown, but kind of a coordinated effort on that one. We'll just follow up with you and let you know.
It's the same map they've used in past years, so I was wondering if they knew about the bridge or, that it could be a problem for them. So
I will discuss with Mass DOT and we'll get back to you.
Because we okayed the permit, they've been great in the past, but I just want to make sure they can do it.
Make sure they don't stop at South Street. Yes.
Thank you, Dave. Really appreciate it.
Thank you,
a lot of
Dave.
helpful information for everyone to hear.
All right, thank you very much.
Good job, Dave.
Mr. Kamalu.
Comcast cable license renewal. I am respectfully requesting the Select Board, as the license issuing authority, delegate the task of holding the cable license renewal public hearing to the town manager. Since Comcast renewal commence letter was dated April 26th, we plan to hold this hearing by October 25th.
Through the chair, I move that the select board delegate to the town manager the task of conducting the town of Hopkinton's cable television license renewal. Public hearing to be held in September or October of 2021, but not later than October 23, 2021, for limited purpose of members of the public and interested persons the opportunity to offer comments on local cable needs and the performance of Comcast communications to assist the process of the town's consideration of a possible license renewal. The foregoing hearing shall be further limited in accordance with the following. No final actions will be taken at this information gathering hearing, and as license issuing authority, the board is required to reserve final decision-making authority concerning any future approval or denial of a renewal license and the final renewal license decisions. Consistent with the foregoing, you, the town manager, is delegated to be the hearing officer and may assist with the gathering of information and comments for the hearing record and with continuing ascertainment of renewal needs. And that would require a second.
Do I have a second on that?
Second.
Thank you. We have a motion and that's been seconded. Any discussion?
So just to clarify, we're just having this here, not at our regular meeting, but we'll have it separately, and we could always attend or watch on Zoom ourselves, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. In fact, if I may, to take this opportunity to make the pitch, we're looking for individuals interested in joining the Cable Advisory Committee.
Oh.
Yeah. So,
All right, so there's an opening with no applicants, so is that right? Okay.
Correct, yeah. So if there
So I
are
hope
individuals
someone
interested,
will apply.
this is the time to.
That'd be wonderful. All right, we'll take a roll call vote.
Amy Rodebush, yes?
Ted Stone, yes.
Franny, yes.
Eric Baker, yes.
And Irfan Nasrullah, yes.
Next, September 13th, 6 p.m. to 9 p.m. is the work session in which the board will set its annual goals.
Fantastic.
Yeah. And to that end, I will be sending some information to board members individually for you to review ahead of the meeting.
Excellent. And where are we going to be doing that?
Next, I wanted to,
Mr. Cavallo, yes, where we're doing.
Where are we going to be doing that?
oh, sorry. We are leaning more towards the basement instead of this room.
Okay.
The basement has a conference table and is more, I think, in line with the type of discussion that we're looking towards.
Excellent.
Yeah. Unless if the board has any objections.
I think being around a table is a better way to
Yeah.
do something like this, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. MWR water connection. We have begun our initial conversations with our counterparts in the town of Southborough. So far, the discussions have been positive. We have also engaged Power Engineering to begin doing some of the hardcore engineering work. And this week, Elaine and Dave will be attending a joint Ways and Means Committee to share with our legislative representatives our water needs and why it is in the town's best interest and the common's best interest to expedite our discussions regarding an MWRA water connection.
Excellent. Would any of the infrastructure bill money be accessible for this?
That's the charge that I've given to Elaine and Dave for the for the meeting on Thursday, to make a pitch that as a Commonwealth, perhaps there should be an emphasis on allocating the bulk of the state allocated money towards water infrastructure.
Excellent.
Yeah, and clearly our case is very strong given our population growth, limited water resources. We need state assistance to get us to our main strategic water goal.
Absolutely.
Any questions?
F.
Okay, F. New staff. For quite a while now, the town manager's office, DPW, town engineer, facilities director, human resources, we have been looking at the level of service and cost of our outsourced engineering services. And we have now come to the conclusion that the best way to provide this service to the community is by hiring an engineering inspector. This is based on the workload that we've assessed for both Dave and John. Consider the number of projects that were approved, for example, at the last annual town meeting. We are expecting Dave and John to do the regular inspections on top of fulfilling their regular duties as directors of departments. Secondly, we have also viewed hiring an inspector as one way of improving the level of support to town boards. What we are learning very quickly over the past years is that traditionally the thought is that only the select board, the planning board, and the conservation commission require engineering assistance. CPC does, Park and Rec does, any other board that is doing an infrastructure project requires Dev's assistance, especially using, if you take into account the approach that we've taken in town, namely that we will centralize facilities planning. So all construction projects that are approved for any construction project other than the school is overseen by Dave's department. We feel that hiring an inspector will actually free up Dave and John to do more of that work. We want to bring them to that level where they provide the same level of support that the planning board has enjoyed, the conservation commission have enjoyed, select board enjoyed as we were going through as the board was going through the Main Street Corridor project, could be extended to the other town boards. We're also focusing on the quality of the construction supervision and outcomes. For example, in the last 2-3 months, we have seen what has happened during the Main Street Corridor project. Granted, It's a project that is overseen by Mass DOT. However, by the end of the day, the town is responsible for the safety of its own residents. And then spend control. If you simply look at the number of projects that were approved at the annual town meeting and identify the amounts budgeted just for engineering services through contracting services, it's pretty substantial. And we hope that by having an inspector to do this kind of work, we will reduce that number.
Okay.
Yeah. And the other operational benefits include some of the work that we take for granted. For example, as you have heard, I think in the last 5 annual town meeting discussions, there's this whole idea about the loop road. Where is the as-built plan for the loop road? The person who is hired to do this work will be responsible for keeping records of all recorded as well as built plans. They will be responsible for the filing, storage, and maintenance of all town utility plans. And they will also contribute to the work that we're doing in asset management and capital planning. So overall, we feel that the way to go is to hire the in-house engineering inspector as discussed tonight.
Excellent. Do we need to vote on that, or is there anything we need to do?
Vote not necessarily required, but the town manager will feel comfortable if the board takes a formal position in supporting moving in this direction. Granted, remember, town meeting has already approved the funding for these individual projects. Now we are moving to what are the ways and methods and means of delivering the projects, and we're deciding at staff level, which is the day-to-day operational work, that this is the direction we want to move.
So just to clarify, so this can be done within the existing budget, like, because we're going to save money, we're not paying an outside firm to do all this work.
Correct.
So there's no increase in the budget, it's just, we're able to fit this in.
Correct.
Okay, and I see all the benefits that you've listed, and it makes sense, it sounds like to me, to do this, yeah.
Board members, any other thoughts and comments on it? Mario?
No, thank you for asking. I appreciate the efficiencies to address the increased level of work and the explanation and the detail in the packet. Thank you. I'm in favor.
So I would also like to say it seems to make sense to me that rather than paying someone else, if we bring it in-house and bring along the staff needed to accomplish these goals, it seems to make a lot of sense. Also, with the Main Street Quarter project going on, I know Dave is really straight out with everything he has going on, so I think a little assistance there would probably be helpful.
All right. Okay, and respectfully, I will pass on the release of the executive session minutes request.
Okay. Excellent. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Liaison reports.
Yeah, sorry, Elaine, I may have missed this. Did I hear formal motion and vote to support the...
Oh, you want a formal, okay.
So I guess I would make a motion to support the town manager's recommendation to create a new staff position for an engineering inspector, and that noting that it's within the existing budget, it's not a budget increase, and there's numerous reasons to do this.
Okay. Any discussion? Hearing none. Roll call vote.
So before we do it, Mr. Kamau, is that motion in order? With as succinct and accurate as some of the things that Ms. Ritterbusch said?
Yeah, what I understood is supporting the name of the position, supporting that it is funded through the current approved budget, and that budget includes the operating budget as well as the capital projects approved at town meeting.
Okay. So, I guess friendly amendment to make sure those words are included.
Roll call vote.
Amy Ritterbusch, yes.
Redstone, yes.
Lafreniere, yes.
Yes.
And Urfanis, really yes. Liaison reports. Does anyone have any?
Yes. I was talking to Dottie. Marathon Committee is having a rather big our virtual meeting tomorrow night, and they are moving forward as quickly as possible, and I expect everything to run beautifully this fall. The other thing is I'm the liaison of the Cemetery Commission, and they're elected positions. However, Claire Wright is moving out of town and will not be on the Cemetery Commission in the future. And I just wanted to thank her for all of her public service. She has been great, and she's been great on that particular commission, doing work with the old cemetery and a few other places. So I just wanted to make sure that she gets thanked properly, and that it gets out there that for election time, we're going to be looking for another cemetery commissioner.
Do we know when she's moving? Do we know when
She has moved.
She's already moved? Okay. Well, yeah, I think that's, I thank you for bringing that to our attention, because she certainly deserves a lot of recognition for all the work that she's done for this town.
And
What else?
would we then meet jointly with the Cemetery Commission to appoint someone in the interim then, I suppose?
We will review that and...
We'll post the notice.
Yes, and share with the board.
Okay.
Yeah.
It won't be kind of up to them to come to us if they want to refill the position before election?
Yes, it has to be based on the motion of the remaining members of the commission.
Okay. Anyone else?
No, I'd just like to say that as long as I have been following town government and participating in town government, their right has been a fixture, and I really appreciate you and Joe calling that out. And I'd like to personally thank her, and I'd like the board to thank her collectively for her years of very dedicated service to this town.
Absolutely.
Deserves it.
Okay. Any future agenda items? No. You know, with the discussion of the Comcast license renewal, I'd like to throw it out there that we say for a future agenda item, an examination into municipal cable.
Yes.
This is
What is it?
as a future agenda item, a discussion on municipal cable.
Okay.
Similar to, I know some of the other towns around here have that, and it seems to be working really well.
Oh, you mean rather than subscribing to Conquest or Verizon, there'd be one put out by the town? Is it?
Right.
Oh, got it. All right.
Sorry to spring that on you.
The good thing is that we have a very vibrant local access cable committee.
Yeah. Great.
Through you, Mr. Chair.
Yes.
We've had a number of recommended future agenda items. Maybe we could take a look at them and prioritize them as a group and get some of them scheduled and addressed.
Sure.
At our work session, maybe we could do that.
Yeah, our work session.
Yeah, we can do that. Yeah. Perfect.
For liaison reports, if I could,
Go
I
ahead.
just wanted to mention that Poly Arts and I think also a big festival at Weston Nurseries is coming up September 18th, and I always think there's a lot of community groups that go to those, and it's a really good place to meet people and talk to the residents and
That's the
and
Blues
support those
Brews and
events.
Barbecue?
Yep, and then Poly Arts, yep. And I feel like there might be a third event the same day, but anyway.
I see the Polyart signs out too,
Yep.
so that's coming up.
Okay, well then I will entertain my favorite motion of the evening.
Okay, I move to adjourn the meeting.
Second.
Okay, roll call vote. Any discussion? Hearing none, roll call vote.
Amy Ritterbush, yes.
Headstone, yes.
Frenier, yes.
Yeah, Kramer, yes.
And Nirvana's really yes. Thank you, everyone. Have a good night.
Everybody. Thanks, Lynn.